Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Anime. Everybody pretty much knows what anime is, or as I remember it, as Japanimation. But anime wasn't always as popular and as prevalent as it is today. So let me give you my story and my experience about anime, and then I'm going to lead up to my very first anime review on this channel. So anime for me was basically Saturday morning cartoons. You know, if you're old enough to remember, there used to be something before they had cable. You know, there was Saturday morning cartoons, you know, before the Cartoon Network. And back then, the cartoons that I watched, the ones that really like changed things, was things such as Voltron, Transformers, Robotech, GoBots. All of these had a different style of animation than what we were used to in the US. You know, primarily people in the US were used to like Disney type animation for kids, okay? And then when I saw things like Voltron and Transformers, they were so different, and Robotech especially. However, you know, being a little kid, you really did not know the background behind it or where it came from. I just thought they were really, really cool cartoons. But then later on, as I got older, I actually watched something that just really changed my viewpoints on what animation is. And it really made me think back to watching those early Saturday morning cartoons. And so the movie or the anime that I'm talking about is The Fist of the North Star. Now, a lot of people who are familiar with anime know what that is. So when I did see The Fist of the North Star, I actually watched it on VHS tape. And this was actually dubbed in English, as, you know, all the anime were at the time. And when I first saw it, you know, remember the opening scene where they were in the city and they had these gangs. They were about to really hurt some people. And then all of a sudden you saw this really mysterious figure come up from the ground, and buildings were just falling on top of this creature with like, I guess like brown dirt and stuff around it. You didn't know what it was. So as all of this chaos was happening, and the buildings, when they fell on top of this thing's head, it just split the whole building in half. And I was like, what is this thing? And then you finally find out that it's not a monster, but it's actually a human or a superhuman. His name was Ken. And then you remember whenever he fought these gangs and he punched them, and that wasn't what was cool. What was cool was what happened afterwards. And what happened afterwards was sheer blood, guts, their heads were exploding. And that's when I knew, man, I'm gonna be an anime Japanimation lover for life. And that's when things kind of changed, because after that, after Fist of the North Star, after that I saw Akira. And Akira was so different. It was set in like a Neo-Tokyo atmosphere. It was so mature, you know. Fist of the North Star was mature for different reasons. It was mature because it was extremely violent. But Akira was mature in a sense that it wasn't a cartoon, you know. I mean, not what we're used to. It told a very mature story. It was set in a Neo-Tokyo future. And so it reminded me a lot of the movie Blade Runner. And at the same time, the characters in those movies, Tetsuo and Akira and everybody else, they all had this weird sense of like a power, you know, that you were not familiar with in watching regular animation. You know, and as the years went by, you know, things such as Dragon Ball Z finally came to the US, and it just really popularized this whole thing called Japanimation, but then it eventually became anime. And then after that, you know, I started watching a lot of anime with the actual Japanese subtitles unedited, and that's when things changed even more, and I have been an anime lover ever since. However, you know, it takes a lot of time to watch that, so I haven't been watching as much anime as I used to. I used to watch it all the time. So with that being said, I'm going to be talking about an anime app that I really love, and I'm also going to be doing my very first anime review, and hopefully I'll be doing more as I get the time and then watch things that I think are interesting. So enjoy this very first anime feature review, and we'll see you on another anime review episode. Okay, so the anime app that I am referring to is Crunchyroll. Now, a lot of people are familiar with Crunchyroll, and unfortunately, the app on mobile, it does not rotate to letterbox or widescreen, just like Netflix. I don't know why they do that. So with that being said, I'm going to do the rest of the episode on the actual Crunchyroll website itself. And Crunchyroll, if you don't know, it is specifically for anime and also for manga. Now, they do offer the free version, which is what I use. However, they also offer a paid service, which is $6.95 per month.
And if you are really, really into anime and manga, I definitely think it's worth it. Because the free version, first and foremost, it has ads. And actually, it has a lot of ads. So if you don't like ads, it'll probably annoy you. And the second thing is that the free version will only allow you to watch the episodes in 480p. And also, the anime and manga that's offered on the free version is limited. However, they give you a lot of free content up front. And also, if you do get the paid version, you also get episodes as soon as like an hour after they appear in Japan. And the subtitling is professionally done. So with that being said, the very first anime review I'm doing is God Eater. And this anime, it's about 13 episodes, and so it's not a short one, but then again, it's not 30 episodes. And what it's about is basically this this object or this presence is called oracle cells, and they basically wreak havoc on the earth. And then out of those oracle cells, these things called God eaters are created. And the reason why they're created because there are these life forms, and let me remember the name here. They're called Aragami. And basically, they're really super powerful beasts that are immune to basically conventional weapons. And so that's why these God Eaters are created. And basically, what they are is weapons that are actually tied to people who have some of the oracle cells in them. Okay, and there is a whole story behind that as well. So basically, these weapons work only with those users, and they can come in the form of a blade, a gun, and so forth. And that premise alone, I thought, that's been done so many times in anime, and it's not really anything new. However, as I started watching this story, the way that it's told, they did this so well. And I'm going to try not to leave any spoilers on this as much as I can. But the whole story surrounds this guy named Lenka Utsugi. So he has a pretty interesting background. And the thing is, when I first started watching this, God Eater, they reminded me so much of Attack of the Titans because they are in this city that is protected by walls, which protect the people from these really large monsters that are out to eat and kill everybody. So at first I thought, okay, this is definitely an Attack of Titans ripoff. And even the character kind of looked like the main one from Attack of Titans. But as the story went on, you started realizing that this show is really, really different. It's interesting, and it's really character-based. Okay, so you learn about Lenka, Lindau, Alyssa, and then the whole Aegis project, Sakuya, Soma. After a while, the characters themselves are actually more important, and you actually care about them. Then you do all the special effects, the monsters, and when I say special effects, the animation in this is really good. So I really felt like I was watching an awesome sci-fi movie. And so as you're going through these episodes, you learn a lot about the characters and why they are doing what they are, and also why they ended up as God Eaters, which is, I really think, a really great approach. So they don't give you everything all at once, and it's not so cliche as most modern animes are. And as I got into the story more, I really, really grew attached to the main character, Lenka, and I felt sorry for him, and you'll know that even more as you get further into the episodes and later on. It's really tragic. And even for the other characters like Alyssa and Soma, they have a really, really tragic background. And the thing is, it is not something that's really simple. It is a complex story, and I'm really amazed at how well they told this story as well. And it also talks about a lot of other things in terms of society, religion, different class systems, the rich and the poor, genetics. They are so many things that this thing covers while blending in the sci-fi fantasy elements of a really good anime. And so overall, I'm so glad I watched God Eater. And, anime, after a while, like I said, if you watch a lot of anime, they mostly follow similar storylines and similar character types. But this is one anime that took that same premise and just basically turned it over and created something that was really interesting, that was really thought-provoking as well. And also, it really did an amazing job in developing characters that you actually truly cared about. So if you haven't seen God Eater, definitely watch it. I highly recommend it. And I think that this is one of the few animes that I could say is really unique. It's very unique in its own right. So hopefully I'll find some more gems like that. So that's it for my very first anime review. If you don't have the Crunchyroll app, definitely get it. You could also go to their website. You could sign up as a member as well. And if you really, really love anime and manga, definitely get their membership program. I really feel like, it's worth it if you are a huge fan. So if you had any thoughts on anime, manga, or if you yourself used Crunchyroll, please leave them in the comments area below. And if you did find value in these episodes, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget, I am on Snapchat at Geek Outdoors. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.